Welcome to Support Snippets. My name is Nicola Harker. I'm a doctor, coach, and teacher of compassion and of self-compassion. And it's that self-compassion that's coming up in this video today. One of the major fears, objections, resistances that comes up to the idea of turning towards yourself with compassion is the fear of opening a can of worms. That worry that if I start to think about how I feel, what I'm experiencing, I might be completely overwhelmed by a tsunami of emotions. And I totally understand this. The first step to self-compassion is awareness. And if you've not been being aware, or you've been holding up shields and armor to protect you from everything that you're dealing with in your life, you've built a wall around you to protect you from difficulty. The idea of awareness and turning towards yourself with compassion feels really scary. So this is really, really important for you to understand. Self-compassion is not all or nothing. The process of becoming aware is not all or nothing. And it's not compassionate to rip off the lid and start digging around on the inside. So turning towards yourself with a little bit of awareness is something that you can build up very, very gradually. You can start to notice and name challenging emotions, for example, without having to dig around in the whys and the wherefores of the emotions. Literally just beginning to notice, oh, I'm angry, and naming it in a very neutral and supportive way for yourself is the beginning of awareness. It doesn't mean that you have to rip off the lid and have a good look inside and say, oh my goodness, and why am I angry? And am I right to be angry? Does it make me a bad person? None of that needs to actually happen. You can start really, really gently. So this idea of the can of worms is totally understandable when our emotions are very close to the surface, because even the invitation to turn towards yourself or to pause or to stop can bring up some emotion. And actually, when I first started this work for myself, and my first forays into mindfulness before I'd even understood self-compassion was when I had a back injury, and I started doing a little bit of mindfulness practice to help me with the pain. And suddenly I became aware of all sorts of sensations in my body that I had been blocking out because I was a busy doctor dealing with everyone else. And it did slightly scare me. You know, I started to think, is there something wrong with me? I was having all these feelings in my tummy. Now, the self-compassionate approach to that first bit of awareness is just to remind yourself this is normal and to go gently. And if some difficult feelings come up, it's okay. You don't need to panic. You don't need to slam the lid back down. You're not going to be swept away. And in fact, what's really interesting about emotions is when we resist them, they tend to get bigger. They tend to hang around for longer. When we just accept that, okay, I'm starting to become a little bit more aware and there are some difficult feelings there, and you don't try and do anything with that except just noticing, naming it, accepting that that's the situation. What's interesting is that they tend to calm back down again. So my teacher, Kristen Neff, she talks about the experience of backdraft, that when we shine a light on compassion, we suddenly become more aware of the areas of our life where compassion is missing, and it's painful. Certainly my experience of this was to feel a ton of grief, actually, that I really coming up inside me, that I'd got so far through my life without learning these skills before. So I do get it. I understand that fear, and I understand the experience of feeling sad. Wow, I've been so hard on myself. This is why, I haven't been self-compassionate. All these walls, all these shields that I'm holding up, all of this stuff that I'm carrying, you can feel a bit sad. If you avoid resisting that, if you allow that to be there gently, just manage yourself really gently, like you would a child who's grazed their knee or who's got, an ear infection or the flu or something. You would say, look, just relax, take it steady, breathe, give yourself a little bit of time. What happens is that those feelings will move through. and they don't hang around for long. So if this is an obstacle that you've been noticing in yourself, comment below. Let me know what you think about this, what your challenges are, because this is real. I'm very, very realistic. I totally get that sometimes we're really scared of what we might find if we start to look. But my experience of this is that take it slowly. You don't have to do it all in one go. You can always stop and say, I'm just going to leave focusing on self-compassion for a week, and then I'm going to think about it again. Just, let yourself go really slowly and let me know how you get on.